Picture this. It's 6 a.m. No alarm blaring. You wake up, not with dread, but with direction. Your mind isn't scrolling through chaos. It's locked in, calm, intentional. That's not fiction. It's a habit. I'm sure you are curious about this unfamiliar voice. Well, Leo is currently on holiday, and I'll be with you until he returns. Hello, Dominator, and welcome back to Mindset Quench, a movement with a mission to help you unlock potential, achieve freedom, and dominate your path to success. This video is part of our Mindset Monday edition, your weekly dose of motivation to kickstart the week with clarity, confidence, and purpose. We dive into powerful perspectives and practical tools to help you reset, refocus, and rise. Let's shift your mindset and set the tone for a winning week. Before we dive deep, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, share it with someone who needs it, and comment down below so we can build this community of dominators together. Today, we're diving into the morning mindset habits that high performers swear by. And no, it's not just green juice and cold plunges. A few years ago, I met a hedge fund manager named Claire. While filming a short documentary, Claire ran a billion-dollar portfolio. But here's what shocked me. She refused to take meetings before 10 a.m. Not because she was lazy, quite the opposite. Claire said, "My first 90 minutes are non-negotiable. That's when I build my inner armor." That stuck with me, because high performance isn't just what you do, it's what you protect. And your morning, that's the castle gate. So here are the 5 morning mindset habits that high performers swear by. Habit 1. Win the first 5. Let us start with a truth bomb. Your brain is at its most programmable state within the first 5 minutes of waking up. Neuroscientists call this the hypnopompic state, that dreamy in-between phase where you're not fully asleep but not fully awake either. It's like the brain's download window, when your subconscious is wide open, unguarded, and absorbing everything. Now, think about what most people do with that window. They reach for their phones. They scroll through social media, get hit with dopamine spikes, comparison traps, or worse, stressful news and emails before they've even left the bed. That's not a morning. That's mental hijacking. High performers, they do the opposite. They guard those first 5 minutes like a sacred ritual. I once spoke to a Navy SEAL who put it like this: the first 5 is when you plant your flag. You tell your brain who's in charge. I say it out loud every morning. I'm in control. My thoughts obey me. At first, it sounded a little too rigid, even robotic, but the science makes it crystal clear. Intentional self-talk activates your prefrontal cortex, the brain's CEO. This is the part responsible for decision-making, goal-setting, and regulating emotions. When you speak with intention, you shift your brain from reactive to proactive mode. It's not fluff, it's neurological priming. So here's your move. Don't check your phone. Don't negotiate with the snooze button. Instead, sit up, plant your feet on the floor, and own your morning. Breathe. Get still, and repeat a mantra that feels personal but powerful. Something like, I choose focus. I create momentum. I own this day. If those words don't resonate, write your own. Keep it short, present tense, and full of urgency. You're not asking the day for permission. You're declaring your direction. Why it works. By doing this, you're not just creating a positive vibe. You're creating a neurological shift. You're laying down tracks in your brain that say, I am intentional. I respond. I don't react. I steer this ship. And when you start your day in the driver's seat, even for 5 minutes, it's incredible how that energy compounds. Because if you can win the first 5 minutes, you've already started the day undefeated. Habit 2. Micro-journaling. Let's clear something up. Journaling doesn't have to mean pouring your heart out into a leather-bound notebook while sipping herbal tea in a candlelit corner. We're not talking about poetry. We're talking about performance. High performers don't journal because it's trendy. They journal because it trains their brain to lock on to what matters. But here's the good news. It doesn't need to take more than 2 minutes. No essays, no paragraphs, just 3 simple prompts. 3 powerful questions that prime your mind like a GPS, setting your route. 1. What am I grateful for? Forget the pressure to make this deep or dramatic. You don't have to list your life's blessings or write a thank you letter to the universe. Small does it in this case. Grateful for your coffee? Good. Grateful your pen works? Perfect. Grateful you woke up today and have another shot? That's more than enough. Why this works? Gratitude lowers cortisol, the stress hormone, and shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance. You're telling your brain, I have enough. I am enough. Let's build from here. 2. What would make today meaningful? Notice, it doesn't ask what would make today productive, not successful, not even amazing. Just meaningful. This is your chance to set a small intention. Maybe it's finishing a project. Maybe it's calling someone you've been putting off. Maybe it's just showing up with kindness or courage. The magic, it gives your day purpose, even if it's quiet. And purpose, no matter how small, is fuel for momentum. 3. What kind of energy do I want to bring? This is where it gets interesting. Energy is contagious, reflective, magnetic. If you show up with chaotic energy, you're likely to attract more chaos. But if you choose calm, focused, or decisive energy, that's what echoes back. I once interviewed an Olympic sprinter who told me this. Every morning before practice, I write one word, explosive, and that's the energy I bring to the blocks, to my stride, to the whole damn day. Just one word. That's it. What's your word? It could be focused, curious, grounded, unshakable. Pick it, write it. Embody that word. Why this works? Your brain has something called the reticular activating system. Think of it as your internal filter. It decides what to focus on and what to ignore. When you journal, even briefly, you give the RAS a job. You say, hey, brain, these are the things that matter today. Highlight them. It's like tuning your mental radar. Gratitude tells it what's good, meaning tells it what to aim for. Energy tells it how to move. High performers don't wait to see how the day feels. They tell the day how it's going to go. Microjournaling is how you do that. It's short, it's sharp, and it silently upgrades your mindset from scattered to strategic before most people finish their snooze button routine. 2 minutes. 3 prompts. Massive ripple effect. That's how you turn paper into power. Habit 3. The body signal. Let's break a myth. You don't need a Peloton, a protein shake, or a 6 a.m. CrossFit class to activate your body in the morning. What you need is a signal. Think of your body like a Wi-Fi router. If it's offline, your mind's buffering to sluggish body equals sluggish thoughts. But give your system even the smallest jolt of movement, and it's like hitting refresh on your whole mental state. You don't need to sweat, you need to spark. A 60-second plank. 10 push-ups, a deep, intentional stretch. 3 rounds of box breathing. Inhale 4, hold 4, exhale 4, hold 4. That's it. That's the morning body signal. It tells your system, we're awake, we're alert, we're not reacting to the day, we're meeting it on our terms. This isn't about calories. It's not about fitness goals. It's about physiology as a trigger. Movement sends oxygen to your brain. It increases blood flow. It releases dopamine, your brain's natural motivator. And here's the kicker. Movement literally increases cognition. That means your problem solving, your clarity, your creativity. It all sharpens after you move first thing in the morning. Take a look at high performers across fields, and you'll see the pattern. Steve Jobs was famous for his walking meetings, not because he liked strolls, because he understood that motion drives emotion and cognition. Ideas got clearer. Conversations got deeper. The act of walking wasn't random. It was ritual. So here's the move. Choose your signal. Make it simple and repeatable. This isn't your workout. This is your wake-up code. Maybe it's a sun salutation. Maybe it's shadowboxing to your favorite hype song. Maybe it's one full-body shakeout while shouting your mantra from habit 1. But send the signal, because when the body is online, the mind boots up with it. You become more responsive, more engaged, more ready. And let's be real. In a world full of passive mornings, those who move first think clearer. You don't need more time. You need more intention. A 1-minute signal can change your brain's bandwidth for the next 16 hours. So don't wait for energy. Create it. Habit 4. The one thing preview. That's the trap. Most people wake up and dive into a to-do list. That's really just a panic list. 12 browser tabs open, both on your screen and in your brain. Emails, errands, obligations, noise. But high performers, they don't try to do everything. They do the right thing first. There's a question, just one, that can realign your entire day. What's the one thing that, if I made real progress today, would make everything else easier or irrelevant? It's borrowed from Gary Keller's best-selling book, The One Thing, but it's more than a productivity hack. It's a mindset filter, because the truth is, your brain loves clarity. It craves simplicity. When you give it one clear target, your energy sharpens like a laser instead of scattering like a flashlight. Let's talk neuroscience. When you define a single priority, your prefrontal cortex, the same executive function part of the brain from habit 1, lights up. This part handles focus, planning, and impulse control. You'll reduce decision fatigue, and you'll prime your reticular activating system, that filter we talked about in habit 2, to zero in on what matters. That's how clarity becomes performance fuel. I once met a pro tennis coach who said this: every athlete I work with has to define one goal per day, even if that goal is rest. Especially if that goal is rest. Why? Because when you know your one thing, you stop negotiating with your priorities. You stop playing defense against the day, and instead, you go on offense. So here's your move. Before the day spirals, before you check Slack or news or your dog's Instagram, pause, breathe, ask the question, what's the one thing that, if I made real progress on it today, would make everything else easier or irrelevant? And then, write it down somewhere visible. Somewhere you'll check. That one thing is your compass. That's what you protect. That's what gets your best energy, not your leftovers. And here's the nuance. Your one thing doesn't have to be world-shaking. It might be sending that difficult email, finishing one slide deck, sitting in stillness for 20 minutes, calling your mom. The power isn't in the size of the thing. The power is in the choice and the follow-through. Discipline isn't about doing more. It's about choosing less, better. And every high performer I've studied, interviewed, or trained with has this habit in some form. They previewed their day through the lens of one core priority, not 5, not 10. 1. Because when you get the first domino right, the rest fall easier. Let your day follow your focus, not your notifications. That's how you work smarter. That's how you win forward. Habit 5. The mindset stack. This one's subtle, but it's a game changer. Think of it like building a playlist. Not for your ears, but for your inner world. Not music, but meaning. Not noise, but narrative. What you're doing here is stacking small, intentional inputs, little micro-doses of perspective that program your brain before the world has a chance to. It's your mindset stack. Let's be honest. The world is loud, and if you don't deliberately shape your mindset first thing in the morning, guess what? The world will shape it for you. With notifications, with headlines, with other people's urgency. But high performers know. Before the noise comes, they handle the nourishment. They preload their mindset. Like a pilot running a pre-flight checklist. Not because the plane is broken, but because what comes next depends on a system that's locked in, calm, and ready to fly. So what goes into your mindset stack? It's personal, flexible, quick, but powerful. Here are a few proven ingredients. A 3-minute meditation, not for spiritual points, for focus. Just you, your breath, and stillness. The mind calms, the nervous system resets. 1 page from a mindset book, something that challenges your thinking, reframes your beliefs, or reconnects you to your values. Even a single sentence can shift your lens. A 5-minute motivational podcast, something like this series you're listening to right now. Inspiration is fuel, but only if you take it in before the mental clutter arrives. A quote, a journal line, a prayer, a breathwork trek, your stack. Your choice. The point isn't complexity, it's intention. Here's the science. When you take in intentional content first thing, you're priming your brain's default mode network, the internal system that shapes your sense of identity and meaning. You're not just consuming, you're coding. And it's not about motivation that fades by 10 a.m. It's about identity alignment, reminding your brain of who you are becoming. One of my favorite quotes comes from James Clear, author of Atomic Habits. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. Think about that. Every action, especially the small, repeatable ones. Your mindset stack is your daily vote. You're not waiting for the world to remind you of your worth. You're casting the vote yourself. First, intentionally, powerfully. Here's the key. It doesn't have to be long, but it does have to be yours. Maybe your mindset stack is 3 minutes of silence, 1 empowering line from your journal, a 90-second clip of someone speaking truth, a moment to look in the mirror and say, I'm ready. That's your playlist. That's how you tune your mind before the day detunes it. Feed your brain the flavor of the life you want before the world feeds it noise. Because when you control the first inputs, you influence every output that follows. That's the mindset stack. That's the vote. And when you stack enough of those, you don't just start the day strong. You become unstoppable. So, in closing, stack the win. Start the shift. Let's pull this together. You don't need an hour-long routine. You don't need to wake up at 4 a.m. You need intention. You need momentum. And it starts with these 5 small but mighty habits. Win the first 5. Set the tone with self-talk, not scroll. Anchor your mindset before the world tells you who to be. Micro-journaling. 3 prompts. 2 minutes. 1 shift in perspective. Gratitude, purpose, and energy. On demand. The body signal. Move your body. Move your mind. Even 60 seconds of motion is a message. I'm ready. The one thing preview. Clarify your target. 1 priority that makes everything else easier. Less friction, more focus. The mindset stack. Build your mental playlist. Feed your inner world before the outside world tries to hijack it. These aren't hacks. They're votes. Votes for the person you're becoming. Votes for the future you're building. Each habit is small, but together, they form a powerful morning operating system. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And this morning stack, that's your system. Because here's the truth. The world doesn't need more perfect routines. It needs more present, focused, and resilient humans who know how to start their day with intention, not autopilot. You don't have to master all 5 on day 1. Start with 1. Stack from there. Make your mornings a training ground, not a battleground. And remember, how you start matters. Not because it guarantees the day will be perfect, but because it guarantees you will show up on purpose. This is Mindset Quench. You just upgraded your morning. Now go own your day. We'll see you on Wealth Wednesday. Until then, design your day before the world does it for you.